All right, get ready because we're diving deep into the world of fake cash.
Ooh, counterfeit money.
You know it. And the numbers are pretty staggering.
Yeah, how staggering are we talking?
Well, get this. There's an estimated $70 to $200 million
Seriously?
in fake U.S. currency circulating right now.
I mean, that's got to be enough to make anyone a little nervous about the money in their wallet.
Right. I mean, think about it, you know?
Yeah.
Are you confident every time you get a $100 bill?
Well, I'll tell you, one thing that really got me thinking about this whole counterfeit thing is how often the U.S. currency gets redesigned.
Oh, yeah.
Did you know that the average $100 bill only stays in circulation for about 7 years?
7 years, really?
It is. It's way shorter than most people think.
I would have guessed much longer than that.
Yeah, so because of that, you've got all these different designs and security features that are constantly being phased in and out, you know?
Right.
It's like a moving target almost.
Yeah, so that's why I think this deep dive is going to be so helpful, because I think there's a lot of confusion about what to look for and how to know if you've got a fake.
Yeah, especially with those older bills floating around too. You know?
Exactly.
So before we even get into all the high-tech security features,
Right.
I got to ask you about that old trick.
Yeah.
Just feeling the money.
Yeah.
You know, does that actually work? Does that hold up? You know, it's funny you mention that because it's one of the first things people think of.
Yeah.
And honestly, there's some truth to it.
Okay.
A real U.S. currency has this really unique texture
Yeah.
because it's printed on this blend of cotton and linen,
Oh.
not regular paper.
Interesting.
So it's got this distinct texture.
So it's almost like a fabric feel.
Exactly. Yeah, it's tactile. You could really feel the difference.
Okay.
Plus, the ink is slightly raised.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So there are a couple of things right there.
Interesting.
Now, counterfeiters try to replicate that, of course.
Right.
But it's one of the hardest things to get, right?
Think about it.
They're essentially trying to recreate the feel of fabric,
Yeah.
with paper.
Right.
It's a tall order.
So that's a good starting point, but obviously we need to go beyond just the feel.
Yeah, we got to dig deeper, for sure.
Let's get into the specifics then. Let's
Okay.
start with the newer bills.
All right.
Say Series 2009 and later.
Okay, so for those newer Benjamins,
Yeah.
the first thing you want to check is the serial number.
Okay.
If it's from Series 2009, it should start with the letter J.
Got it.
And if it's Series 2009A,
Okay.
it'll start with L.
So pretty simple there.
Yeah, pretty straightforward.
So if I see like a K or something, red flag.
Exactly, yeah, big red flag.
Okay. Good to go.
Now, here's where it gets really cool.
Okay.
One of the security features on these newer bills
Mm-hmm.
is actually on Franklin himself.
What?
There's raised printing on his shoulder.
Really? You can actually feel it.
Yeah, run your finger over it.
Wow.
And you should feel a distinct texture.
I never noticed that.
It's subtle, but it's there.
I'm going to have to check that out later.
Yeah, it's all about the details, right?
It's amazing.
The fine details.
Yeah, so how would a counterfeiter even try to replicate that?
Yeah, it's tough. Really
So
tough.
we got the serial number.
Right.
We got Franklin's textured shoulder.
Yep.
What else are we looking for?
All right, well, this was a real showstopper.
Okay.
The color-changing ink.
Oh, yeah.
To the left of the serial number,
Okay.
there's a copper-colored inkwell with a bell inside.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever noticed that?
I have. I always thought it looked cool. I didn't know what it was for.
It's not just for looks.
Okay.
Tilt the bill back and forth.
Uh-huh.
What happens to the color?
Okay, hold on. Whoa.
What do you see?
It changes to green.
It does, doesn't it?
That is so cool. How do they do that?
It's pretty ingenious, actually.
Yeah.
They use a special ink that shifts color depending on the angle of the light.
Oh, wow.
You know what's even cooler?
What?
The numeral 100 beside the inkwell, that changes color too.
Oh, really?
From copper to green.
Wow, so there's 2 color changes?
Yeah, it's like a little magic trick built right into the money.
Yeah, I'm going to have to try that out and show people. They're going to think I'm a magician.
I know, right?
Okay, so we got the serial number, we got Franklin's textured shoulder, the color-changing ink. What other secrets are hiding on these bills?
Okay, well, let's talk about the embedded security thread.
Okay.
Hold the bill up to the light.
All right.
To the left of Franklin's portrait. Can you see it?
Yeah, I see it.
What do you see?
There's like a vertical thread.
Uh-huh.
Looks like it says USA and 100.
You got it, and here's the kicker.
Okay.
Under a UV light, the thread glows pink.
Wow.
It's another layer of security that most counterfeiters just can't match.
So maybe I do need to invest in a UV flashlight after all.
Maybe so.
Okay, what else have we got?
All right, so to the right of Franklin's portrait, you'll see a blue security ribbon.
Okay.
Now, this isn't just any ordinary ribbon.
Okay.
This one is 3D.
Fancy.
Right, shift the bill around a bit and watch what happens.
No way. The tiny bells in the hundreds are actually moving. It's like a little parade.
Yeah,
How do they even make something that small move like that?
That's the beauty of this security feature.
Yeah,
It's incredibly difficult to replicate.
I can imagine.
It's not just printed on.
Okay.
This ribbon is woven into the paper itself.
Oh, wow.
So if you ever see a ribbon that looks like it's peeling or could come off,
Uh-huh.
that's a huge red flag. It's almost certainly a fake.
Okay, so no loose ribbons.
Exactly.
All right, good to know. So much to look out for.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Okay, what else should we know about these newer bills?
Let's move on to another clever feature.
Okay.
The watermark portrait.
Oh, okay.
Hold the bill up to the light again
Okay.
and look for a faint image of Franklin in the white oval on the right side.
Oh, yeah, I see it.
Do you see
It's like
it?
a ghostly Franklin?
Yeah, like a hidden image.
That's so cool.
It's like he's keeping an eye on things.
He's watching over his money, make sure it's the real deal.
Right, exactly.
All right, so we got one more. Right.
One more.
Let's break out the magnifying glass.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's talk microprinting.
All right, so this is where we got to get up close or personal.
So we're talking really, really tiny printing.
Tiny, tiny printing. You got to...
Wow.
You're going to need that magnifying glass for this one.
Okay.
If you look around Franklin's collar
Uh-huh.
with a magnifying glass,
Yeah.
you should see the words, the United States of America,
Wow.
in super tiny print.
They're really going all out
Oh, yeah.
to make these bills hard to fake.
Absolutely. Each of these features adds another layer of security.
Right.
Makes it harder and harder for those counterfeiters to keep up.
Okay, so we become experts on these new Benjamins.
We getting there.
What about older bills, you know?
Oh, yeah.
The ones from before 2009?
Right?
Are those just sitting ducks for counterfeiters?
That's a great question.
They don't have all those bells and whistles, right?
Yeah, it's important to remember those older bills are still out there.
Yeah.
They're still legal tender.
Right. We need to know what to look for.
Absolutely. So even though we see fewer of them,
Right.
we can't forget about them.
So how do we authenticate those older bills?
Well, there are some similarities, but also some key differences to keep in mind.
Oh, okay.
So let's dive into that world
Yeah.
and learn how to spot the fakes from the past.
Let's do it.
All right?
All right, so we'll be back in a moment to uncover the secrets of those older bills.
Sounds good.
Stay tuned.
We'll be right back. So, I'm holding a piece of history in my hand, basically.
Exactly, but don't worry, you didn't need a degree in archaeology or anything to spot a fake older bill.
Okay, that's good.
A lot of the same principles we talked about with the newer bills, they still apply.
Right.
But there are a few unique things to watch out for.
Gotcha.
So your first move should always be to,
Uh-huh.
feel the bill.
Okay.
That distinct texture of the cotton and linen blend, that's a hallmark of real U.S. currency, no
Right.
matter what year it was printed.
Okay, makes sense.
And the raised ink is another good indicator.
So even with older bills, that tactile test is a good starting point.
Exactly.
But then how do we go beyond the feel?
Right.
What are some of the other things we should be looking for?
Yeah, what are some of the key security features that are specific to these older bills?
Okay, well, any $100 bill printed after 1990 will have a security thread embedded in the paper.
Okay.
Just like with the newer bills, you can see it when you hold the bill up to the light.
Right.
It's a vertical thread.
Yep.
And if you look closely, you'll see it says USA and 100 on it.
So it's similar to the thread on the newer bills,
Uh-huh.
but without the pink glow under a UV light.
That's right. The older threads might not have that fancy UV feature.
Right.
But their presence alone is still a key indicator of a genuine bill.
Gotcha.
Counterfeiters often have a really hard time replicating this thread accurately.
I bet it's got to be harder than it looks.
Way harder.
Okay, so we've got the security thread. What about microprinting?
Microprinting. Oh, yeah, definitely.
Is that on older bills, too?
It is.
Okay.
The challenge is that the location of the microprinting can vary depending on the year the bill was issued.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of like a treasure hunt.
Right, so we got to know where you look
Yeah.
based on the year of the bill.
Exactly. So, for example, bills issued between 1990 and 1996.
Okay.
They've got microprinting around the outer edge of the oval surrounding Franklin's portrait.
Gotcha.
Later bills, they had different spots.
So we might need to do a little bit of research beforehand.
Yeah, well, homework never hurts.
Have a cheat sheet handy
Right.
to know where to look.
Exactly.
What would you recommend? Is there a good resource for that kind of info?
The U.S. currency website is fantastic for that.
Oh, okay.
They have detailed images and guides for all denominations and series of bills,
Wow.
including where to find that microprinting.
Okay, so it's like a counterfeit detection encyclopedia.
Pretty much, yeah, it's got it all.
All right, I'm bookmarking that site right now.
Good idea.
So we've got the security thread, the microprinting. What about that color shifting ink?
Oh, yeah, the color shifting ink.
We talked about it with the newer bills.
Uh-huh.
Does that exist on the older bills as well?
It does, but only on bills issued between 1996 and 2013.
Okay.
On these bills, the numeral 100 in the lower right corner will shift from green to black.
Oh,
Because
okay.
you tilt the bill.
I see.
It's not quite as dramatic as the color change on those newer bills,
Right.
but still a helpful feature.
Okay, so it's like a more subtle version
Yeah, more low
of the color shifting ink.
Exactly.
Okay, so they're kind of refining it as they go along.
Yeah, always trying to improve, stay ahead of those counterfeiters.
Right. Stay ahead of the game. What about the watermark portrait?
The watermark portrait, yep, that's a consistent feature on both newer and older bills,
Okay.
as long as they were printed after 1996.
Got it.
Remember, you're looking for that faint image of Franklin in the blank space
Right.
on the right side of the bill.
Got it. So to recap,
Okay, so let's recap.
we've got the security threat,
Uh-huh.
microprinting,
Yep.
the color shifting ink
Right.
on bills from 96 to 2013,
That's right.
and the watermark portrait
Yes.
on bills printed after 96.
You got it.
Anything else we should be looking for on these older bills? Any other clues?
You know, one of the simplest yet often overlooked things to check
Yeah.
is the overall printing quality.
Okay.
Real bills have this incredibly sharp, clear lines and text.
Right.
Counterfeiters, they often struggle to match that level of detail.
So if the printing looks blurry or smudged or just kind of off,
Yeah, if something looks fishy,
that's a red flag.
a big red flag, yeah.
Good to know.
And don't be afraid to compare a bill you're suspicious of
Uh-huh.
with another one that you know is real.
Oh, okay.
Seeing them side by side can really make those discrepancies pop.
That's a great tip. Like, have a reference guide right there in your wallet.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's say I've gone through all these checks.
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure I've got a counterfeit bill in my hand.
Uh-oh.
What do I do next?
Okay, so that's a tricky situation.
Yeah, what do you do? Do you confront the person?
Honestly, not the safest approach.
Okay.
Remember, the person who gave you the bill might not even know it's fake.
Right, they could be a victim too.
Exactly. They could be just as surprised as you are.
So what is the best course of action?
The most important thing is to try to delay the person
Okay.
without putting yourself at risk.
Right.
If you're in a store, for example,
Uh-huh.
you could call a manager over
Okay.
and say, hey, you need to take a look at this bill.
So buy yourself some time.
Right, and kind of alert someone who might be more experienced with this kind of situation.
Yeah, good idea. Okay.
And while you're waiting, discreetly jot down any details you can remember
Okay.
about the person, their appearance, anything unique about them.
Got it.
What they were wearing, if they arrived in a car, maybe try to get a license plate number.
So it's like becoming a detective.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, so what about the bill itself?
Okay, so with the bill itself,
What do you do? What do you do once you realize it's probably fake?
first and foremost, you want to avoid handling it more than necessary.
Okay.
Law enforcement, they might be able to lift fingerprints from it later.
Oh, wow.
So in the white border of the bill, write your initials and the date,
Okay.
then put it in an envelope marked counterfeit.
Okay.
Keep it separate from your other cash.
So secure the bill,
Yep.
gather information about the person
Uh-huh.
who gave it to me, and then who do you call? Ghostbusters.
Ha, I wish it were that simple.
Right.
In this case, you're going to want to call the police.
Okay.
They'll likely contact the Secret Service.
The Secret Service.
Yeah, they specialize in investigating counterfeit currency.
Wow, so it's serious business.
It is. Yeah.
I always thought they just like protected the president.
They do that too.
Yeah.
But they also have a whole division dedicated to combating counterfeiting.
So this is like a federal crime.
It is. It's a federal crime, and they take it very seriously.
Oh, okay.
So, to recap,
Okay.
if you suspect a counterfeit bill,
Yeah.
don't return it,
Uh-huh.
delays the person,
Gotcha.
gather information,
Okay.
secure the bill,
All right.
and call the police.
Okay, that seems pretty straightforward.
Yeah, pretty clear cut.
But I gotta say, even with all these tips and tricks,
Right.
sometimes you just get a feeling, right?
You're absolutely right.
About a bill, like,
Trust your gut.
yeah, something's not quite right.
If something feels off about a bill, even if you can't quite put your finger on it,
Right.
don't be afraid to take a closer look or even ask for a different bill.
Right.
Better to be safe than sorry.
Absolutely, that's a great point. Speaking of taking extra precautions,
Yeah?
what about those tools I've seen like cashiers using, those special pens?
Oh, yeah, the counterfeit detector pen.
Yeah, and those UV lights?
The UV lights, yeah.
Do those actually work?
Those are great questions. Let's dive into those tools.
Yeah, let's talk tools.
and see if they can make us even more savvy counterfeit detectives.
Yes, let's do it. Okay, let's talk tools.
Yeah, tools of the trade.
I'm particularly curious about those counterfeit detector pens.
Oh, yeah, the pen.
I've seen cashiers using them.
Uh-huh.
Do those actually work?
They kind of like magic wands in a way,
Okay.
but maybe not as foolproof as you might think.
Okay, so explain how they work.
All right, so basically the counterfeit pens are designed to react to the starch
Okay.
that's found in regular paper.
Uh-huh.
Since real U.S. currency is made from that cotton and linen blend,
Right.
the pen's iodine solution, it shouldn't react.
Gotcha.
And the mark will stay pale yellow or amber.
So if it turns like dark or black,
That's a sign the bill could be printed on regular paper
okay.
and therefore fake.
But There's
always a but.
Yeah.
Counterfeiters have gotten wise to these pens.
Oh, of course they have.
They've started using different types of paper or even bleaching real bills and reprinting on them,
Oh, wow.
which can trick the pen.
So it's not a guaranteed catch-all?
Not 100%, no.
What about UV lights?
UV lights, yeah.
Those seem more reliable.
Yeah, UV lights are definitely another helpful tool.
Okay.
They're particularly useful for checking those newer bills with the security thread that glows pink
Right.
under UV light.
So that's a good one.
Plus, they can help expose bleached bills.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes the bleaching process causes the paper to react differently under a UV light
Interesting.
compared to genuine currency paper.
So are you recommending everyone walk around with a UV flashlight?
I mean, a portable UV light can be handy,
Yeah.
but it's not a necessity for everyday transactions.
Okay.
A lot of businesses have those counterfeit detector machines
Yeah.
with the built-in UV lights.
Right.
And honestly, for most people,
Yeah.
just being aware of the security features we've talked about,
Right.
that's enough to significantly reduce your risk of getting stuck with a fake.
That makes me feel so much better.
Good, good.
So let's recap real quick.
All right, let's recap.
We covered the unique feel of real currency.
Yep.
Learned about all the security features
Mhm.
on new and old bills.
Right.
What to do if we suspect a fake.
Yeah.
Even explored some additional tools like those pens.
The pens, the UV lights.
I feel like I could give a presentation on this now.
I think you could. You've learned a lot.
I know. It's fascinating.
Yeah.
It's like a whole hidden world
Absolutely, yeah.
on these bills.
It really is.
I don't think I'll ever look at money the same way again.
I know, right?
Well, hey, this has been really eye-opening.
Yeah, it's been fun.
I feel much more confident about handling cash now.
Good, that's the goal.
So until next time, stay vigilant, stay curious.
And keep those Benjamins real.
You got it. 17M.